Brinder.
Yeah,
Welcome, Basuraj Brinder. Sorry for
yeah,
your name pronunciation different. Okay.
no problem.
Welcome everyone. This is a dev track. He's going to talk about time intelligence in Power BI. He's a solution architect and he have a good knowledge and a very subject matter expert in Power BI. They get a lot of information, whatever questions, anything you can ask in the class. Okay. Bharat, take over for me. You are
Yeah, yeah. Thanks,
thank you.
Jenkins. Yeah, let me share the PPT. Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I am Basraj Biradar. Today, I'll walk you through a very interesting session on time intelligence in Power BI. Uh, this is about me. Like, I'm a software architect with 20-year experience in Microsoft technologies. SQL Server, machine learning, and Power BI are my area of interest. And you guys can reach me out through any of these platforms. Okay. And this snap took in the last year global power platform bootcamp event which held at Microsoft office. There I have presented a session last time. So high level, this is the agenda for today's session. I'll give a brief introduction on what is time intelligence all about. Then we'll see uh, uh, the auto date time feature in Power BI versus having our own custom calendar table. Then we'll go through how we can debug the time intelligence function and see the internal working of time intelligence function, and also create our own custom time intelligence function. And we'll end the session with the best practices while working with the time intelligence related uh, reports or functionalities. Okay. So let's start with the introduction to time intelligence. See, most of the businesses, for them, key performance indicators are how their business is doing from year to date, or quarter to date, or month to date. So based on these performance indicators, the business and marketing team re-strategizes their campaign plan, all those things, so that they meet their quarterly targets, or yearly targets, or monthly targets. So facilitate all such provide reports or insights. Power BI has a rich set of time intelligence related functions and capabilities. So that's what we'll go through today. Okay. I'll start with a demo where I'll show one sample report creating in Power BI, and then I'll show auto date time feature in Power BI, and then creating our own calendar table. And if any of you don't know Power BI, this first demo will make sure that you understand a little bit about Power BI, so that you will also get along in this session. Okay. Let me start with a demo. For my demo, I'm using AdventureWorks database. As it is time intelligence related session, I am fetching most of date related columns from the table and the sales. So this fact internet sales table has order data. Multiple columns are there. For today's session, as I told, I am only picking these 4 columns for complete session. So it has data from 2010 to 2014. Okay. Let's get this data in Power BI. Let me open first Power BI. This is completely Power BI desktop is completely free tool. You can download and install on your machine. So I'm opening the Power BI desktop. Okay. So this is the opening screen of Power BI, and here you can create your reports, all those things in this section. And here a lot of visual controls are there, like column charts, pie charts, line charts, all those things. Let me start by importing this data, whatever I was saying here, this data into my Power BI. Let's go SQL Server. So it supports importing data from 100 plus data sources. So first it is asking my this instance name, my database instance name. I'll give the instance name. I'll give my database name. and then this query. Okay. So I'm trying to import the data from SQL and dump in my Power BI file. Okay. So it is importing this data. Let me load. So it is copying the data from SQL Server to my Power BI file, PBIX file. So it is importing the data. It has imported around 60 plus K records. I'll give this table name as like sales. Then
बेटा
can you go on next?
हाँ बेटा मैंने
Thank you. Yeah. So I will create our first report. I can put visual visual control here, or you can directly select the columns from here. I'll select the order date, then I'll select the sales amount. So it has built a nice report for us. Okay. So it is showing yearly sales. Okay. So you can modify font size, all those things here. Okay. So all those things you can do. You can show the labels. Yeah. Here, those labels, you can increase that font size, all those things. And you select this and you can drill through this data, say 2013. You can see quarter-wise data in 2013, and in Q4 of 2013, let's drill through. You can see month-wise data. Let's go through December data. You can see day-wise data. So all this we are able to slice and dice data with such a minimal effort. This is because by default Power BI, whenever you have any table and that has date columns, see here like a due date, order date, ship date, it is showing like a calendar, and there is a here we can expand and see there is a hierarchy. Okay, and see here, it has added year column, quarter column, month column, day column. Internally, what Power BI does is, any date column in your model, it creates an internal hidden table for that, so that it helps you to slice and dice data by using year, quarter, month, days. Okay. So this is the feature for all the date columns. By default, you get this, but it is creating a hidden table for each of the date columns. And I'll show you how it, here we have only one table, but I'll show you. You can see only one table, but I'll show you. It has created multiple hidden tables. I'm opening the DAX Studio. This is, I have not given any name, so file name is untitled. See, you can see here, for each of the date column, it has created one hidden table, local date table. This table has like 9 columns, 1461 records. See here, this table has 9 columns, 1826. So I am reflecting that PBIX file here and seeing what all the hidden tables it has created. So you can see for each of the date columns, it has created one hidden table and one template. Okay, so template has just like those columns and data types, all those things, they copy the template internally here for each of these local tables. So you can see here. And if you are using time intelligence function, and it is advised that you should not be using these built-in hidden table to slice and dice the data, because in most of the cases your analysis goes beyond this. Like for example, your calendar, you may need to have holidays, you may need to have fiscal year information, you may need to do week or week analysis, All those things you need to do. Okay, so because of that reason, it is advised that you use your own calendar table, and most of the organizations have their own calendar table in their BI environment. So it is better to import those calendar tables and use instead of using this. And this usually bloats up your model by adding the hidden table for each of the date column. So it is like all or none kind of thing. And if you want to disable this feature, you can go here, options and settings, and here like for this file you want to disable, you can click this and see here. Now you can see all that this one has gone. Okay, so you will not be able to do this, but we have to recreate the report. Okay, yeah. So, but now you will not be able to slice and dice the data by year, quarter, month. Then for that you need to add your own calendar table. Okay, so I'll show how to do that. But you got it correct, how to disable this feature. And also now if you go and see in the DAX Studio, the hidden tables disappeared. Now I have just only the sales table. And also, if you are using these hidden tables, correct, you are at the mercy of the system which is feeding this fact table data, this sales table data. If they have like gaps for 4-5 days, if there is no data, all your time intelligence calculations will go for a task, and you may get all wrong results. So it is always advised to create your own custom calendar tables. Now let me show you how to create your own custom calendar tables. There are multiple options in Power BI. I'll show a couple of them. Okay. Here, like for example, I'll create using DAX. There are two options by using DAX. One is like you can use the calendar function or calendar auto function, and there is another option by using Power Query. We can also create the calendar table. So let's go to modeling, new table. See here, I'll tell table name as calendar. Yeah, and just you write the function like calendar auto. That's it. This is the simplest form of a calendar table. Now if you go and see here data, see it has created, you just given this function, it has created a one table named calendar which has a date column and the value starting first Jan 2010 to 31st December 2014. As you can see in my SQL, I have shown you, correct? It has data from 2010 to 2014. It has automatically, what it does, this calendar auto is, it will go through all the fact tables in your model and finds the min date and max date and creates then the date table. Okay. Now you want to add one more column here, like for example, new column in this, you can add a new column. For example, you want to add year column. Then what you can do, year, then this calendar date. Like this, you can keep on adding columns, whatever columns you want in your calendar table. And then what you can do is finally, you can build a relationship between this calendar table and your fact table. Fact table means your transactional table. So just like drag and drop. So in this way, you can build. Okay. So already I have, in the interest of time, I have already built these things. Like for example, by using calendar function, we can use another function calendar where you can use start date and end date, and it will create. And here I have added these extra columns. This is a DAX script. So here I have created all those things. Okay, you can see the calendar, my custom calendar table, which has all these columns. Okay, it has week, year, month, all those things. And now same report, whatever I was showing there earlier, same report I have generated using my calendar table. See here, there is a relationship between calendar table and my sales table. And one more thing here, important thing is whenever you create a calendar table, don't forget to mark it as a date table. mark as a date table. So I'm marking it as a date table. Why we have to mark it as a date table? What it makes sure is there are no gaps in the dates. This table has continuous dates, okay, and there are unique values for the date, and the granularity is at the date level. So there are no duplicate values. So all that validation Power BI does for your on behalf of you. So that's the reason it is always advisable to mark your date table as a mark your calendar table as a date table. Okay, you got it. And another limitation, for example, like if you would have used these columns, you have a requirement. For example, like you want to show for 2013, what is the sales amount, means how much sales we have done and how much amount worth shipment we have done. We have to show on the same graph, then we'll not be able to do if we are using these columns separately, because on one axis you can have just one column, either order date or ship date. You can't have both. Now if you have like a table like this, and you can build a relation, and then you can put just this date column as this axis, okay, x axis, then you can have the sum of sales amount for this one for the ship date and for the order date. So all such things can be achieved by using a date table, but it is not possible if we are using built-in hidden tables. Okay, so that is the reason we should always go with calendar table. So another calendar table I have created using M language, that is using Power Query. So if you go here, edit query, so that previous script was a DAX script. So these are the steps I followed using this UI you can create. So I can show you that code. Either you can write code here directly, or you can use this editor to generate this script. So this is the script which is generating dates from 2011 to 2014. Okay, and I'm adding various columns here. This is M language. Okay, the previous language, whatever I was showing, that was a DAX, data analysis expression. So that is, these are the two different languages we use in Power BI. Okay, so using this Power Query M language also, you can create your date table. So these are the various ways you can create your date table and have in your model. Okay. So let's move on. Now let's understand the time intelligence functions in Power BI. Power BI by default provides like a set of 35 time intelligence function, which helps us to do various types of analysis. Like for example, if you have to do total year to date calculation, or total quarter to date, total month to date, or like you want to do previous year data, or like previous quarter analysis or aggregations, those things. For all those, we have 35 built-in functions as of now today. So Power BI is providing. But if you see here, you don't see a time intelligence function for week. I'll show you how we can build our own week level aggregations, all those things. Okay, but there is no power time intelligence function in Power BI for week level data aggregations and data manipulations. Okay, but that we can do on our own. So that I'll show in this session. Okay, so let's jump on to using, I'll show a demo using this time intelligence function. Okay. Let me close all this. Okay. So the first example which one I'll show is like I'll show how to do year to date calculations in Power BI, how to use this year to date time intelligence function in Power BI. Okay, so data is getting loaded. Yeah, So same data. Now like my fact table has only order date and sales amount, and as I told, I have calendar table, and whenever we mark table as a date table and use that column as this one, you can see this special icon here, means this column is marked as a date table column. Okay. So, and here you don't see that any hierarchy, correct? So I have disabled that. Now this is the report we have created, correct? Now I want to do year to date analysis. So for that, what I'll do is better visualization for understanding A will be matrix. I'll convert it to matrix. Let me increase the font size. Hope you can see now properly. Okay. So this is our data, like we can see here, year, quarter. Same, this one I have just changed visualization from column chart to matrix. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll take out this quarter. I'll just keep month. Okay. Year and month. So in 2011, this was the revenue sales amount, and in January, this was the revenue, all those things. Now I want to do year to date calculation. How to do that? So here, this is the sales amount. First of all, in most of my calculation, I'll be doing in time intelligence function, I'll be doing the sum of this column. So let me create a measure column for this. So I'll create one sales measure that will be just sum of sales amount. Okay. So it is same as sales amount, just same as sales amount, but in my multiple time intelligence function, I need to write sum of sales amount. Just to avoid that, I have created this. So in my report, I'm using that column only now. Now let me show how to use year to date time intelligence function. Let me create another measure, year sales year to date. So for this, there is a built-in time intelligence function, total year to date, and here sum of sales amount. For that, I have already created a measure. I'll just write sales, and I have to give the date column. So time intelligence function always requires a date column. So calendar table date column I am giving. Okay. So when it is at this level, what it happens? This calendar date gives dates from 1st Jan 2011 to till 31st December 2011, and during that period it creates total sales amount. And when it is at this level, the dates will be from 1st January 2011 to 31st January 2011. During that period, it creates the sales amount. Let me add this to this report. Sales year to date. You can see here. So if you see here, January, there is a here also same, here also same. But if you see February, the amount in February is sum of January sales amount and sum of February amount. And for March, the amount is sum of January, February and March amount. So in this way, it is keep on accumulating till the year end. So from starting of year to till year end, it keeps on accumulating. So this sales year to date function helps in getting year to date calculations. Okay. So if you see here again, next year, again it started from January. So keep on accumulating. But as in India, the physical, by default, even if you go to that hidden tables, for them the physical year is 1st January to 31st December. But in India, the physical year starts from 1st April. So I want to do the year to date calculations starting from 1st April and ending till 31st March. If that is my requirement, then what should I do is, it's very simple. I'll create one more measure, sales year to date, physical year, measure name I am giving. What I'll do here is total, same function, year to date, same that sum of sales amount. I'll use that measure, and then calendar date same as it is like the last time. Only thing here is year and date. What I give you here is, in India, year ends on 31st March, fiscal year. Okay. So I created this function. Let me add this. Okay. Now you can see here. So the aggregation happened till March, but it started freshly from from April 1st, and it has gone till March 2012. And again, the aggregation started from here. Clear? So we can build our own sales year-to-date fiscal year function also. Just like you have to give that parameter value. Let me use Zoom in case somewhere I need. Okay. So this is how you can build your year-to-date calculation. There is another way of doing year-to-date calculation. I'll show here. Sales. There is one more time intelligence function for sales year-to-date calculation. I'll write it as V2. And commonly, most of the BI developers, they use this. Calculate sum of sales and calendar, dates, year-to-date, calendar date. Okay. So what it is doing is, this function gives, in the context of if I'm here, it gives 1st January to 31st January dates. For those dates, it calculates the sum of sales. Okay. So here, let me add this to the my report. Sorry, it is not selected. Let me select this. I'll add this. You can see the results of the previous function. Let me take out this fiscal year. So the results of previous function and this functions are matching now. Okay. So you can see. So there are multiple ways of calculating year to date in Power BI. Built in, there are multiple functions you can use. Let's move on to next time intelligence function. Here I'll show how to use previous year function. For previous year function means, for example, for 2012, the previous year sale amount is like this amount. So this amount I want it to come here. So to do that, we can use previous year time intelligence function. New measure. So sales previous year. I'll do calculate. I'll leave sales, sum of sales. One more time intelligence function is there, previous year, that is, and here you can use calendar. Okay, so it gives, what it does is, for the current context date, if I'm here, the current context date will be 2012. This function goes and gets the previous year dates, and for that previous year dates, this calculate function does the sum of sales. Let me create this measure. I have created it. Then let me add this to the report. So you can see here, this has come here. You can see this amount coming here, this amount coming here, this amount coming here. So for the current year, I can show in this way the previous year amount. How I can do previous year aggregations or calculations, data manipulation by using previous year function. Let me expand and see here. So there is no previous year for this, so it did not put anything. Let me expand and see here. But at month level, I was expecting it will put like last year January data, but it has not put. It has put complete last year data at the January month level. So you can see that previous year will not be suitable for at month level. For that, previous month function is there. But I'll show you a demo where which function we can use, which works at year level also, month level also, at a day level also. Okay. So let me go back to PPT. So we have gone through two time intelligence function year to date, and then we have gone through that previous year function. And now let's go through the demo how we can debug the time intelligence function. Okay. Debugging means it is not like .NET debugging in .NET code, those things we put debug pointer and do. Debugging means here I was explaining, correct? At this, at month level, I was telling you like it is showing last year complete sales amount, means I should know what context it is using to calculate this. What is the date context it is using? So that is called, I mean debugging here. So let me show that here. Sales previous year. Oh, sorry, let me select this. I have selected this. I'll add sales previous year. Okay. Now let me create a measure with which I can see the context, or I can debug how this time intelligence function works. Let me create a measure named date context. Okay. So in this measure, sorry. In this measure, I'll just display min and max dates. Min calendar date, max calendar date. Okay. So I have created this measure where it displays like instead of sum of sales amount, here it is displaying min date and max date. What min date and max date is using. Now create that previous year measure and see what date it is using while calculating while using that previous year function. So sales previous year date context. Okay. So what I'll do, same function as for previous year, instead of sales, I'll use that date context measure to display min and max date. There is a noise from someone. Can you go on mute, please? So date context, and then I'll use a previous year function, same the date. So instead of sum of sales amount, here I am displaying that min and max dates. So let me add this to report, this new measure. Okay. See here, when it was calculating at this level in 2012, it was going back to all the dates from 1st Jan 2011 to 2013 2011. Okay. To means like 1st Jan to December 31st 2011. And for January also, it is going back to the whole complete year, dates of year 2011. So previous year function is suitable where you need to do aggregations or data manipulation for the entire previous year. Okay. So if you want to do it, which works at year level also, month level also, days level also, okay, which works at all hierarchy of dates, then there is another function in Power BI Time Intelligence Catalog that I'll show here. That function named is same period last year. Let me show the demo of using that. New measure. Sales, same period last year. Calculate sum of sales amount. So same period last year. Time intelligence function I am using. Here you use calendar date. Just a moment. Battery is going down. Give me a moment. sorry for that. Yeah. So I'm using same period last year function. So I'm giving calendar date. If you see here. Now let's add this new measure to our report. Sales same period last year. Now you can see. So 2022 at year level, it has put previous year sales amount, and see at month level this January amount. This amount last year January amount has come in front of this year January. Similarly, last year February amount has come in front of this year February. Correct? So we can do like this. So this same period last year function works across like date, year, months, everything. But there are some functions which you can use like previous year, previous month, previous quarter. Those functions also you can use, but you have to write some if else kind of thing where like if the context is year, then use like previous year, all that you have to build. Otherwise, you can use same period last year that function you can use. Okay. Now, I'll show you how to do year over year calculations. I know this is this year amount, okay. This is this year sales amount and this is last year sales amount, and I want to get the difference of it, and then I want to show the percentage whether it is business is growing or it is showing a decline. If you want to do, we have to do year over year calculations. Let me show how to do that. Here I'll put sales same period last year. Sorry. Now I'll create one more measure, year over year, new measure, sales year over year. Here what I'll do is, basically I have to do this minus this. So that is sum of sales amount, that is sales minus sales same period last year. Let me add that to report. You can see here, but here it is previous to 2011 there was no data, but it is putting whatever has come that as a complete gain. And if you don't want to show, I'll show how to hide that. But here the difference between this year and last year has come here. Okay, I'll show you how to hide this. If you want to hide that, it is very simple. If you don't have the amount for the same period last year, then don't show it here. So what you can do here is, if is blank sales same period last year. If last year there is no the amount, okay. If it is blank, then show blank. Otherwise, do this year minus last year amount. Okay. So you can see here this has gone away, and you can see here in 2012 business has gone down by this much amount. In January it has gone up. In February it has gone up. In other months it has gone down. So you can do year over year variance, but you may want to see this in percentage. I'll show you how to do that. What percentage it has grown. So to do that, I'll do here sales year over year percentage growth. To do that, what I should do, I have to divide year over year amount, divide what is that measure, sales year over year. Okay, so this difference amount divided by this year amount. So sales, okay, sum of sales. Add that to report. So sales year over year percentage. It is not in percentage. Let me convert it in percentage. Yes. Yeah, it got converted into percentage. you can see in 2012, the sales is 21% less than the previous year. In January it went up, February it went up by this percentage, but in other months it has gone down. Okay, this is how we can do. Let's go back to our PPT. So how to debug your time intelligence function means by displaying its what context it is building, date context it is building. By that you will come to know how it is working. So this is the way you create your one measure where you display min max dates, and then use the calculate function. There you display that context using in that calculate function use the time intelligence function which you want to analyze or debug. Okay, in this way you can do. Now let's move on to understanding how these time intelligence functions work internally. Basically what they do is, first, for example, I am at year 2020, then what they do, then the current context is 2020. So they capture the current context, and then if I want to get the previous year, that current context dates 2020, it transforms to the previous year dates. So first capture the current context, then get the modified context out of the current context, and then finally calculate using the modified context. For example, if you are writing your own previous year function, time intelligence function, then instead of using your own time intelligence function, then what you have to do first, get the current, capture the current context. What is the current year? Okay. Then what you do, get all the dates for the previous year. So what this all calendar means, if there are any filters in your report, all those things, it removes all the filters on calendar table. It gives all the rows from the calendar table. Then what you can do is, so you are here, what you are doing, calendar dot year. After removing all filters, for you will apply a where condition where calendar year equal to this current year minus 1. So in this way, you will get the dates for the last year. Okay. So once you get the dates for the last year, then finally you can do like this, return calculate the sum of sales amount for this using this modified context. So capture the current context, modify or transform the current context to the whatever context you want, and then using that context calculate the measure whichever you want. So this is how the time intelligence functions work internally. I'll show this one demo. The reason I'm showing this how it works internally is, like, for example, I told you already, there is no time intelligence function for a week over week. And if you get a scenario where you have to build a week over week time intelligence analysis, that time you can use the way this time intelligence function works, like capturing the context, modifying the context, and then calculating using the modified context. These steps to build your any time intelligence calculation on your own if there are no built-in time intelligence functions. Let me show. Already I have shown how I can build previous year time intelligence function on your own. Now let me show you how to build your own custom year-to-date time intelligence function. So for this one, let me create one new measure. What I'll do, sales year-to-date custom. Okay. So as I told, three steps. Any time intelligence function like calculations you want to build on your own. First, capture the current context. Capture the current context. So in here, what you do here is variable. What is the current year? Current year equal to max calendar date. Okay. Sorry. I need year. Current context year I am taking in a variable. Okay. Then what is the current max date? If you are in January month, the current max date is 31st January, correct? So that I want to take here. Current date current max date. Okay, current max date equal to max calendar date. I have captured the current context. Now I'll modify this, modify the context. As per your need, you get the modified context for you. Okay. So what I'll do is where year to date dates. Okay. So I'll get year to date dates. For that, I'll use filter function. I'll remove all the filters on calendar table. Means this all the rows from calendar table are visible here for me now. So sorry. First I have to get the dates. Sorry. Calendar for all. Sorry, 1 minute. All calendar. Now I'll apply and get only these dates, year to date dates. So for that I have to put a filter. What is the filter? Calendar year equal to the current year. Current year and calendar date equal to, the date should be less than or equal to, sorry, equal to current date. This is how build. So what this function does is it takes all the records from calendar table and then filters those records where year matches to current year and date is less than or equal to the current date. Okay. So I got all the dates. For example, if I am in February month, then it will get me all the dates from 1st Jan to 28th February. Okay. So once I did the modified the context, next, as I told, finally calculate using the modified context. So return calculate. What I'll do here, sum of sales amount for these dates. So I am not using time intelligence function. I am using my own built context here. Year to date. Year to date dates. Okay. So calculate the sum of sales amount for these dates. So this is done. Now let me add the previous earlier that sales year to date function we had, that I had added, and this custom one whatever I had done. You can see both the results are matching. So you can create your own custom time intelligence functions by following these 3 steps. Capture the context, modify the context, and then you do aggregation or data manipulation using the modified context. Okay. Now as I have told, this is the last demo. As I had told, there is no week over week time intelligence function. So how we have to do week over week time intelligence calculations? So to do that, what I'll do is just like custom year to date, I'll create custom week over week time intelligence measure. Okay. Here sales week over week. Okay. So what I'll do here is same steps. Step 1 is as we know, capture the current context. Prior to that, I'll show this here in calendar table how I have kept the data. My calendar table data I'll show you. Sorry. In calendar table, if you see, I have kept one week number column and there is one week sequence. Week number column, it resets after every year, correct? So it goes till 51, 52 or whatever, then it starts back from week 1, week 2. But week sequence, I have put marked this as a continuous this one. So anywhere if you do this one, correct? So -1 if you do, you will go back to the previous year kind of, previous week kind of thing. So for that, I'll show one simple how to do this week over week measure. For this one, what I'll do, I need week over week analysis. So I'll remove month, I'll remove day. So in my report, I'll add week. See here, 2011, week 1, week 2, all those weeks. Now we'll see week over week calculation here. So for that one, I'll create the measure, week over week measure, this one. So for this one, as I told, first capture the current context. So in current context, what I have to capture? Variable, what is the current week? Current week. So how to get the current week? Max from our calendar table, take that week sequence number. That is a continuous number. Okay. Then once you got the current week, then what you can get, how to get previous week? It is very simple. So previous week, modify the context, get the dates for the previous week, dates for previous week. So for that one, filter function, all, I'll remove all the filters on the calendar table. All rows are available here, visible to me, and take only those records from calendar table where calendar table week sequence number is previous to the current week sequence number. So current week sequence, whatever is the current week number, to that you do -1. So then you will get
Basavaraj, just 4 minutes back.
Yeah. I'll be completing in that time. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So I got the previous dates for the previous week. Correct. So in this way, what I did, I filtered the records of the calendar table whose week number is equal to the current week -1, means that is previous week. Now calculate. Here, as usual, return, calculate sum of sales and dates of previous week. So capture the current context, modify the context, and calculate in the modified context. So that's all. Let me add that to report. Okay. This is a decimal. Okay. See, now you can see here. For a week 2, you can see the week 1 amount. For week 3, you can see the week 2 amount. Correct? It is showing the previous week aggregation. Correct? In this way, you can do your own custom time intelligence calculations. So let's go to the last slide. These are the best practices when you are working with time intelligence function. As I have told, disable auto date time setting, so that it will not create a date hierarchy and internal hidden table for each of the date columns in your model. Okay. So then avoid using the date columns from your fact table. Here in our case, the transaction table was that sales, correct? Internet sales, correct? So if there are any gaps in the dates, for example, if I don't have records for February month, then time intelligence calculation may not work properly. So always better using your own calendar table. So always have your own calendar table, and calendar table must have one column, and that column should be of type date. Okay, and the granularity in the calendar table should be at a day level. Means you should not maintain records at hour level. All those things, if you need, keep them separately as a separate table. So don't put like first half of the day, second half of the day records kind of thing. Calendar table usually keep a record at a day level, and the records in the calendar table must have unique values. Okay, there should not be duplicate records for the same date, and date column should not have any missing records. If we have missing records, then calculations will go for a task. And if you mark that table as a date table, all these some of these rules, whatever I'm saying, it will validate and it will warn you whenever it is violating some of these rules, like if there are not a unique values and if there are missing values, all those, it takes care of itself. And the best practice, one thing I do is like I have a Power BI template file. In that I have a calendar table. So any new project or report I work on, I take that template file and from there I build on. That template file already has a calendar table in it. Yeah. So any questions, team? These are the ways to reach out to me. If you have any questions, you can ask me here now. I'm available.
Basavaraj, this is Arjun here.
Yeah, tell me, Arjun.
First of all, thank you so much for this session. I have one doubt on the calendar table. Will it auto update when the fact table is updated?
It depends which function you are using this one. If you are using Power Query, there you can do that. And if you are using calendar auto function, in calendar auto function, I have while showing demo, I have shown, correct? Automatically it created records from 2010 to 2014. Means what it does is, in a fact table, it checks what is the min date, what is the max date. Accordingly, it creates the calendar table dates. So if you are using those functions and coded accordingly, it auto updates. So you don't need to go and make any changes. Or if you want to put a calendar table like that, like calendar, you want to use that another DAX function I have shown, correct? Calendar start date to end date. There you can give like 2010 to, you can give till 2030. So you can have date for each day, one record till 2030 also. So you can use auto updatable DAX functions or Power Query, or you can use the calendar function where you can keep the records for next couple of years. But usually what they do is, in their environment, they will have their own table, correct? So in SQL or somewhere, they import that, because in that table they will be updating holidays, all those things. Whenever Power BI model refresh happens, that data also comes from their SQL databases, those things, and it gets refreshed here. So it is better always use your organization's calendar table wherever in data warehouse system they are maintaining. Import that here and put a scheduled refresh in the model for that.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? I think next session is going to start. You guys can move on to the next session. And if there are any questions, you can reach out to me. I'll be.
Yeah, thank you, Brinder. Any questions or any doubts, please contact directly to him. Now the next session going to start. Please move to the next link, get from the Eventbrite and start with that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.